Welcome to a sold-out Auburn Arena. Tonight, Kentucky's on the road to take on the Auburn Tigers, who are suddenly surging. And a standing room only crowd out to see the defending national champs, the Wildcats of Kentucky. Mismatch inside, Noel. Alan Payne is just 6'6". Comes up with a rebound, taking it all the way. And Kentucky the other way. Noel jams it home.
On that possession, it would have been best if Chubb just hung back, because on a fast break layup, he was the last Auburn player back.
Arena as Wallace misses and Noel rips it down. They gave Elston Turner a standing ovation when he walked off the floor after a 40-point performance last week.
Well, they were glad he was walking out the door. They didn't want to come back.
11 straight shots.
Well, they've gotten a lot of good looks in transition. Right there, just a reach by Wallace. You know, Kentucky obviously is very, very, very young.
Wallace tried to set a screen on Noel, and they threw it in anyway. And Goodwin, count it!
So that's the transition defense I'm talking about. They're too athletic to open up the floor to a guy like Goodwin and Poitras. I mean, the guards need to get back. See, Wallace wasn't set number 11. He needs to get in front of the ball and not be behind the basketball. And when do you get in that position where you take bad shots?
Wilcher fading away, tough shot.
He can shoot the ball. He fills out. He has a chance to be an excellent college basketball player.
Turned over by Auburn. This is Goodwin in a foot race to the rim.
Auburn turns the ball over way too much. Contain him. But Harrow's not the strongest cat in the world. No pun intended.
Great look from Wilcher inside to Poitras.
Wilcher's excellent in the high post because he's got size against the zone. He can shoot the ball, and obviously he's a good passer. Great bounce pass. And I think Poitras can finish.
Empty possession for Auburn. And now Chubb's got to guard Wilcher on the other end. Another fantastic look from Kyle Wilcher.
You know, maybe a little pressure off of Kyle. Play them because a lot of times they don't foul out. And it's maybe a key point in the game where you allow the other team to make a run.
Look at that putback from Jared Polson. Chubb with a shove on Wilcher. And Wilcher free now.
Man. See, Chubb is just so inclined to go into the basket defensively. He's got to stay with Wilcher.
3 times, don't leave him.
See, he stayed with him, but then he got sucked in defensively. It's just not a habit. You know, he's used to guarding big postmen. Here comes the squeeze and the ball screen. They want to go under.
And Wilcher that time cuts right past Chubb.
Chubb's struggling right now on the pick-and-roll defense. They're squeezing it.
Nerlens Noel on the bench in foul trouble.
He's gone so deep, I thought he was going to put Rod Strickland back in the game.
He wouldn't mind. Another fantastic look from Wilcher. That's his 3rd assist of the night, and Archie Goodwin with the finish. Zone. They didn't play a ton of zone in the first half. That was a floater to Mays, and he makes it count. Just the second 3 of the game for Kentucky. Noel uses his quickness to get inside. Goodwin corrals the rebound and drains the jumper.
Well, second shots yesterday in practice. Tony Barbee worked a lot on box out.
Payne left it short. 0 for 13 from 3 now is Auburn. Goodwin all the way to the rack. Largest lead of the game for Kentucky. Archie Goodwin into double figures. Kentucky up by 10 in the second half against Auburn.
Denson in the backcourt, they can do some things offensively. The tough thing is Sullivan's doesn't really have the DNA of a point guard.
And a bucket inside for Kentucky, Ryan Harrow.
Stein and no Noel.
Willie Cauley-Stein had a lingering knee issue from his junior high days in the Kansas City area. Got that taken care of late in the week.
Made some huge plays to put Kentucky up in this basketball game. It's tough to team the zone.
Spot 3 for Wilcher.
When they go small, you have Wilcher at the 4 spot.
Noel, jump hook.
Credit Kenny Payne.
He missed time with a stress fracture. Chris Denson has also returned to the floor tonight. Denson rejected, fourth block of the game for Noel.
Not a wise decision, young man.
Harrow on the run.
Harrow's played huge. He's played huge this game.
The lead is 13 for Kentucky.
I bet you Tony Barbee's fired up. Why do you challenge one of the best shot blockers in the country? They like to force him into the help, and then you have a one-man goaltender in Noel. I love how he blocks the shot and keeps it in play. And that can lead to transition buckets against an unset defense. Harrow using his height.
It's a pain to finish.
Well, that's Harrow's fault. He shouldn't be on the offensive board. Shot goes up. He needs to get back to protect the basket.
Gooden with a chance for a three-point play as he muscles his way in. Brian Green Jr. Can't finish, and Kentucky the other way. Wilcher with the ball fake, and inside gets another. Sullivan will pull. Tigers can't buy one from deep tonight.
They should not stop the break high.
Noel over the top of Sullivan.
That all starts with trying to stop the break high, going for the outlet pass. Then you expose the basket area to great athletes that Kentucky has.
Went up and over the 6'1" Sullivan. What a feed, what a finish. Coming up, a special edition of SEC Q&A. Auburn's Charles Barkley's in the house.
We'll vote for a 3-year deal. We don't want those guys to come in early. It really helps those veteran players that can stay around longer.
It would, but these agents are such scumbags, as you know that. They just want their percentage of the money. Man, you know that. And then if you make that adjustment, you're ready by your 3rd year.
But Chuck, did Kenny Smith ever tell you why his knees are so knocked?
Well, from bringing Michael Jordan water all the time.
Well, when he was a freshman, we made him carry all our bags, so they would bang against his knees, and they were...
You know, man...
Johnny Miller was a pretty good golfer. I don't know.
He was. But I'm saying, Johnny Newman was a hell of a player. They had a better team than we did.
Well, that's what I tell people. Like, Kentucky may have the best talent, but the best talent doesn't always win. The best team always wins.
Right now, all these kids have a mentality, I only want to be in college for 1 year, and that sucks.
Speaking of talent, you and Kenny, Magic and Jalen, what can we expect?
Well, you expect us to beat them down. Listen, Magic wasn't a great defender, and neither was Jalen in their heyday. We're going to beat them down in the 2-on-2 competition.
Coach is fired in the Big 12.
10-2 Kentucky run. They're getting it from everybody now. And on the back cut, it's another assist for Wilcher. Harrow into double figures.
He can really pass that rock. I love
single digits on the shot clock. Polson with 2. And he gets to the rim and got it off. What a play by Jared Polson. Never panicked.
It was great poise. Terrific.
Charles Barkley said none of these guys are ready for the NBA. I'd tell them all to stay. Noel, some people have going #1 overall. How do you think his game would play at the professional level?
Well, he's so thin, and he's not very skilled offensively. So, that could be an intentional flagrant foul, because that was excessive.
And Archie Goodwin took exception with it.
That's a frustration foul by Chubb. That was not necessary.
Noel with the exclamation point. He's into double figures again to go with 7 blocks tonight. #12th win of the season for Kentucky, 3-1 in conference play. Auburn will drop under 500 at 8-9, and now 2-2 in the SEC. Old friends meet. Coach and players John Calipari shakes hands with Tony Barbee. Our final score tonight. Kentucky with a second half explosion beats Auburn 75-53. Coming up next, it's Sports Center U. Now from Auburn, Alabama. Let's take it back to Matt Schick.